Hey mama, welcome to MOMDAY. I'm your coach Ella. I am currently 27 weeks pregnant and you're joining me for this birth prep mobility flow using our birth ball. A birth ball is an amazing tool that you can use throughout your entire pregnancy to help mobilize your hips, your pelvis and your spine. And it's also an amazing tool that you can take into your labor to get movement in your body in a more supported way as you progress through labor. We're going to be working on each of these movements for a minute at a time. Once you're in your relaxing environment and you have your birth ball ready, let's jump into our flow. So the first movement of this flow is going to be hip circles. So I want you to think about drawing really big circles with your hips. And we're really trying to isolate the pelvis with all of these movements. So the movement isn't coming from our whole body with our knees. We really want to keep our feet grounded, our knees where they are, and then we're thinking about drawing those big circles with the pelvis. So you kind of imagine that your tailbone is flaring out at the back and then tucking under as you come around towards the front. And with all of these movements, I really want you to just keep breathing nice and passively. Good job. And then we're just going to change direction. So whichever direction you just did, change direction. Big inhales. Feeling your body release and lengthen with each of those inhales, filling your body with air, and then passive exhales, just let all of that air out of the body. Nice job, mama. Really exaggerate those circles. Okay, and now we're going to come into our starting position and we're just going to rock the pelvis forward and back, coming into pelvic tilts. So an anterior pelvic tilt with tipping the pelvis forward, and then posterior pelvic tilt. Think about tucking that tailbone underneath the body. And again, really try to isolate the movement coming just from the pelvis with these. Inhale, open up the pelvis. Exhale, tuck the bum under, coming into that posterior tilt. So we're creating space here from front to back in the pelvis. Working on opening that pelvic inlet to help baby drop down and engage into the pelvis when they are ready. Nice job, mama. Nice. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go side to side. So you're going to think about hiking one hip, lifting this hip up to the side, and then over to the other side. So shifting our weight from side to side. It can feel quite subtle, but you should be able to feel how you're moving the weight from side to side in the pelvis, creating that asymmetry from one side over to the other side. Again, just keep breathing. You can close down your eyes here. You can take this time to visualize your birth, your dream birth. And just really thinking about letting go of any tension in your body. Release your jaw, your eyebrows, your glutes and your abs, and just let your pelvis move. Nice job, mama. Okay, now we're going to take our right arm and we're going to lift it up and over, coming into a side body opener on this right side. If you want to, you can take your left hand and you can place it on the outside of your right knee, and you can give that little pull to increase that side body length. And again, just really think about breathing into that side body, into those side ribs, filling that rib cage with air for every inhale. Really finding space in that rib cage. Nice job. And then we're just going to go ahead and switch over to the other side. So side body opener on that left side now, option to use our right hand for a little bit more of a stretch. Nice job. And now I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to place it in between my legs. So my elbow and my hand are in between my knees. And I'm going to take my right hand, place it behind the head, and we're going to come into some thoracic rotations here, finding some mobility through the thoracic spine. It's going to influence the position of our pelvis. Finding as much range of motion here as you can. Really twisting that chest, opening up towards the ceiling. Nice job. And then let's go ahead and switch those sides. Creating some space in that left side. Nice job, Mama. Keep breathing and rotating. Good job. And now we're going to come off of our birth ball. We're going to come down onto the floor and we're going to come into a half kneeling position. I'm going to start on my right side. So I'm going to lift up that right leg. Think about tucking the pelvis under, and then you're just going to rock your pelvis forward and back. And you'll feel a really nice stretch through the front of the pelvis on that opposite side, that left side. And again, just keep breathing here. Nice flat back as you hinge forward. Feel that length in your hip flexor as you come into that end range. Nice, finding a little bit more range of motion as we progress through this 1 minute. Nice job, Mama. And then we're going to come into an inner thigh stretch, so an adductor stretch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my right leg out to the side, and then again, just rocking forward and backwards with our birth ball out in front of us. And you should feel that really nice inner thigh stretch as you send your bum back behind you. And our adductors, our inner thighs, have deep connections into our pelvic floor. So releasing tension in our inner thighs can help to release any pelvic floor tension. Nice job, Mama. And then we're just going to go ahead and switch sides. So on our left side, left knee is going to be up. Think about tucking the tailbone under, posterior pelvic tilt. And then we're just going to rock forward and backwards with our pelvis here. Just working on that mobility of the pelvis, the pelvic floor, and the surrounding muscles of the pelvis, mobilizing through the hips and the spine can help to open up the entire pelvis to make space for baby to navigate their way through as they descend through the birth canal. Nice job, mama. And then coming into that adductor stretch on the right side now, so that inner thigh stretch. So extend that left leg and then rocking your weight forward and back, really feeling that inner thigh stretch on that left side. So your toes should be around about in line with your knee here. And then you're just gonna send your weight back towards your heel. Feel that stretch, hold for a second or two, and then come back up. Again, you can close down the eyes here, just really zone in on your breath. Good job, mama. Okay. We're gonna come into some internal rotation now. So you're gonna have your feet out, your knees out nice and wide, and then your feet out wider than your knees. And then from here, we're just gonna again rock forward and back on our birth ball. And I want you to think about breathing into the space between your two sit bones. So you can reach behind you and feel those bones in the bottom of your pelvis. I want you to think about spreading those bones apart and inhaling into the muscles of the posterior pelvic floor to find length in the pelvic outlet. This is where baby's gonna exit the pelvis and opens more with internal rotation. And then we also want to release that tension in the muscles there as well. So really think about inhaling and lengthening through that pelvic floor. Nice job, mama. And then final resting pose. This is gonna be a child's pose supported on our birth ball. So you can sit your weight down, you can place your feet together behind you and underneath your bum. And then we're just gonna come into a child's pose on our birth ball. And you can rock here from side to side. You can come into total stillness. And I just want you to work on those really beautiful deep diaphragmatic breaths. So breathing into the rib cage, filling the rib cage with air. And then exhale, let all that air out. Close down the eyes, tapping into that parasympathetic nervous system that tells our body to rest and release tension. It's also the nervous system and state that we're going to be in when we go into labor. So getting really comfortable here, learning how to release tension can be really beneficial as we approach our due date. Nice job, mama. Thank you so much for joining me for that birth prep flow using our birth ball. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for choosing MOMDAY and trusting me with your prenatal movement, and I'll see you in our next session together. Bye, mama.